What is up, hard rock and metal fans? Well, I managed to get in a new episode of these top 10 songs by different artists, and for this particular one, I have the pleasure of being joined by Saurav Das, who is the bassist for a new metal band that's emerged on the Indian metal scene called Bego. And hopefully, I've mentioned the name right. And here's the interesting thing, his bandmate is a very dear friend of mine who is, of course, Biproshi Das, who's the vocalist for the band. And him and I did the top 10 Metallica songs, which you guys can check out as well. And I'll leave a link to the single that they released, as a group, which you guys should definitely hear. Very, very cool stuff. And so, as we usually do, I'm going to invite Saurav to, do his top 10. And after that, I'm going to share mine. So, without further ado, here's Saurav.
Hello, this is Saurav from Bego, and today we will be discussing, or rather, I'll be talking to you guys about my favorite Megadeth songs, or my top 10 Megadeth songs. Now, that is an absolutely horrid task at hand that I have to pick 10 of my favorites, that too in order from one of my favorite bands. And to be honest, it's not just Megadeth, it's the whole 80s thrash metal music that I absolutely love and grew up on. And it's the kind of music, Megadeth being very instrumental in how I came to start music and came to love music and metal music, as we call it. So, uh, well, I love 80s metal and thrash, and I love Megadeth. But what do I love the most about them? It's not the complexity of the riffing or the arrangements or the guitar solos by all the great guitar virtuosos and legends that have played for the band. It's the songwriting and the hooks mostly that get me about Megadeth. Really, I mean, there's a lot of people who probably complain about Mustaine's singing. I've never complained about that. I think it holds its place in metal history right up there, right? So here we go with the top 10 list. And before we get into that, actually, I'd just like to give one disclaimer. Like I was saying, it's not going to be based on the complexity of the songs or how great the guitar solos are, which is often what I find Megadeth songs are judged on. So there's gonna be a few disappointments. For example, Hangar 18 and Tornado of Souls do not feature in my list because, as per my choices and my taste, they don't really match up to my top 10 list. These songs are more known for their guitar solos than being songs as a whole, right? So, starting with number 10, The Killing Road. That's a song from the album Euthanasia, which also happens to be my favorite Megadeth album, right? It's an album that I can hear from start to finish, back to back, 2 or 3 times and not get bored. And I've done that many a time throughout my life in metal, right? So why do I love Killing Road? Iconic riff to start the song. Great topic. It's a song about being on the road as a band, right? And how that can be absolutely draining and life changing and could completely alter your personality, which is why it's called the Killing Road, right? It absolutely kills your need and want to be a musician often because the travel, the accommodation, the life that you lead between stages often drains the life out of you. So, The Killing Road, of course, great song, great riffs, great chorus, great hook. You hear it once, it'll stay with you. And also, one bloody good guitar solo. Moving on to number 9. I've not heard about this song in a lot of people's top Megadeth lists. It's called A Secret Place. It's a song from the album Cryptic Writings. I love this song because it's got such a weird riff that starts it. And with that riff, the verse also kicks in. And again, what a great chorus, what a great song overall. Sounds brilliant, very catchy, very different from the usual Megadeth, and very different from usual metal style of songwriting too. Number 8, this song I believe is on a lot of people's lists, and not just because it's a great song, it's also a very complex song. It's a song that's incredibly difficult to be playing and singing, and there's not too many people on this planet that could possibly sing and play this song at the same time as well as Mr. Dave Mustaine does. It's called Lucretia. It's from the album Rust in Peace. Starts with that iconic snarl and that insane riff, and once again, what a bloody guitar solo. Then moving on to number 7, again back to my favorite album Euthanasia. This song's called Family Tree. Once again, great song, great songwriting, great arrangement, great hook. Uh, but what a dark topic to sing about. It's about family issues, it's about abuse within the family. Not a topic that a lot of metal bands have written about, and written about this well. Once again, really, I mean, when you think about it, guitar solos are such an integral part of Megadeth songs. This is a guitar solo that just fits right in there. It's 0% overplaying, or there's there's no showing off. There's no wankery, as you call it, right? This is the perfect solo for the song. Now moving on to an album on number 6 is an album that I believe the band themselves hate, and a lot of Megadeth purists or metal purists don't even consider this a metal album. Well, it might not be, but it is a Megadeth album. It's called Risk, and it was a risk of an album because they put out songs that were completely different from everything else that they had done before or would continue to do ahead of that. Uh, Songs that were very differently written, the ideologies were different. You could tell that the band was trying to go through some sort of change, or was trying to accommodate something or a certain someone, maybe, if you get the hint. And yeah, the song is called Time the Beginning. It's one of the many songs that I love in this album. Sadly, it's a top 10 list, so I couldn't put any of the others. But if I had to pick one song that really moves me within this album, it's Time the Beginning. Moving on to number 5. This is also from an album that doesn't get talked about that much. It's the album called United Abominations. It's the first time I believe the Drover brothers featured in an album. Uh, the song is called Sleepwalker, an absolute monster of a riff that plays through the song, starts the song and goes right through. Very difficult to figure out exactly what he's playing. There's so many intricacies going on, and once again, like only Dave Mustaine can, he's singing over it through the changes like it's a piece of cake. Great lyrics, uh, weird lyrics, but great lyrics, and again, great bloody chorus and overall great songwriting. Moving on to number 4, and this is when it started getting really difficult. And what song do I leave out? What song do I count? So as I was thinking, I was going back to the early days of me listening to metal with my tiny little MP3 player that used to be in my pocket that could only hold about 20 songs, right? And as I used to travel through the city, these were the only 20 songs I'd listened to for a while before I could refresh them and get more songs. And to get more songs, I'd have to delete some songs, right? This is a song that almost constantly stayed through within those 20 songs, and I would rarely delete. It's a song called Vortex from the album Cryptic Writings, and that's on my number 4. Again, insane riff, but over that insane riff, what great singing, what great songwriting. And once that bridge hits, that bridge riff is something else. It's nothing. There's so many technical bands that have come and gone. There's so many bands that have played in odd time meters and played the most difficult things you could imagine. But the way this riff hits, very few riffs ever have hit me. So yeah, number 4 is Vortex. Number 3, great, 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 great song. More than a metal song, it's a song that could live over any genre. Would you call it pop? Would you call it rock? Would you call it metal? I don't know what you call it. It's called Foreclosure of a Dream. No riffs, barely any riff, one riff. It's just beautiful chords, beautifully played guitars, clean guitars, and again, a solo that matches the song and plays for the song. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's called Foreclosure of a Dream. Now, song number 2, song number 1. This was incredibly hard. Uh, Incredibly hard because by this time I had decided which two were gonna make 1 and 2, but I was kind of confused as in which one was 2 and which one was 1. So, song number 2 is a song that I've probably heard the most by the band. Part of the reason being, I always wanted to, in my life, for once at least, be on stage, play the bass, and sing like Dave Mustaine. And I've done it thrice in my life where I've gotten on stage and sang a Megadeth song. And I only got to sing this song once, and I think I did a great job. Uh, I don't know what the crowd feels or people who were there that day felt, but I think I did a great job. This song is from Countdown to Extinction. It's called Skin of My Teeth. Insane riff, great singing, beautiful bloody chorus, a chorus that instantly stays in your head. It is very metal. Uh, the guitar solo is spanking, and that little pick slide, that interrupted pick slide between the chorus and the second verse, iconic. So Skin of My Teeth is number 2. Now moving on to number 1, I think a lot of people would have guessed which one this is, or probably not because I've left out so many crowd favorites. But this one's the crowd favorite. This one's probably the most defining song that Megadeth have, and that's for a good reason. It's from the Rust in Peace album. It's called Holy Wars, The Punishment Due. It is a complete song in any planet, on any planet, in any timeline. It is a complete song. A song on war, but not just about mindless bloodshed. It does not describe a war, it questions the war, and it questions it beautifully with some very well written lyrics. And a riff that is not just iconic, is also incredibly difficult. How do you play that and how do you sing at the same time with such ease, with that many changes, going into that beautiful clean guitar section and then coming back with a pounding riff and then an absolute barrage of solos that melt your face. It's a complete metal song. It's one of the greatest songs ever written. That's Holy Wars, The Punishment Due. And that's my top 10. Quick recap. Number 10, The Killing Road. Number 9, A Secret Place. Number 8, Lucretia. Number 7, Family Tree. Number 6, Time, The Beginning. Number 5, Sleepwalker. Number 4, Vortex. Number 3, Foreclosure of a Dream. Number 2, Skin of My Teeth. And the top, at the very top, Holy Wars, The Punishment Due. So that's my top 10. Uh, Agree or disagree, that's mine. Let us know what yours are. And yeah, open to debate as always. And hopefully, we can meet up at a Bebo gig or any gig and talk about it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks a ton, Saurav. So, coming into it, what is going to be my top 10? Now, you guys know for a fact how much I love Megadeth. And I think it's with a great deal of sadness that we just found out that Dave and the boys are going to be releasing their final album next year. No title as yet, no track listing, but I think at the end of September we'll get to hear the first single. So keep an eye out for that. Thanks for all the great years of being Megadeth, and obviously Dave Mustaine, a legend in his own way. Controversial for sure, but certainly a legend. And with that, I'm going to share my top 10. And where am I going to start? So, coming in at number 10 for me is the song Kill the King. Now, this song actually appeared on an album which was a greatest hits album called Capital Punishment, but Capital being Capitol Records. Now, for some of you who may remember this, after the debacle of Risk, although I still think Risk is a great record, but after that, Dave and the guys decided, that they wanted to go back to a much more heavier sound. So the original plan was to release a new studio album, which was going to be called Capital Punishment. And Kill the King, along with Dread and the Future to Mind, were the songs included with other songs that ended up being on The World Needs a Hero, which subsequently followed. Those were originally going to be part of this new album, but because the record label wanted them to fulfill one final album for their contract, they released a greatest hits album, and they took Kill the King and Dread in the Future to Mind on that. But Dread still made it onto the new record at that point, which was The World Needs a Hero. And Kill the King is, to me, an awesome track. It's a very basic structure. I've spoken to a lot of guitarists. They find it very simplistic, but it packs a real punch. And I think it's a song that can really get the crowd going and so on. In fact, I am quite surprised that it doesn't get as much airplay as it used to. It's certainly a great and heavy riffing song that you guys should definitely check out for those of you who are new. So that comes in at number 10. Number 9 for me is what I consider to be one of my two favorite singles or two favorite songs from the Peace Cells album. And this one is My Last Words. I mean, wow. I mean, this thing really gets the blood pumping. It really takes off. And then, of course, it hits this more mellow path. And, it just flows with this nice chuggy pace all the way through to the end. And I think overall, it's a song that is so distinct in its character. So this comes in at number 9 for me. Number 8, of course, is a track that many people love. It's widely associated. When you think of Megadeth, you definitely would think of this song amongst a few others, which is In My Darkest Hour of the So Far So Good So What album, the third studio album. Musically dedicated to Cliff Burton, and lyrically, as Dave said, it was about one of his exes, his ex-girlfriends at the point. But quite honestly, as I've always felt like many Megadeth fans, if the song musically was dedicated to Cliff and was written, when he found out about Cliff's passing way back in '86, he should have also made the lyrics about Cliff. In fact, when I first heard the story, I was a little confused. I'm like, wait a minute, is he talking about one of Cliff's ex-girlfriends here? But then I found out, no, it was actually one of Dave's. So that was the only jarring thing which I felt about the song. But the song overall is awesome. And I think when they did the 2004 remasters, the remix and remasters, Dave added this small little acoustic section just before the song starts, which I think was really the missing ingredient, overall. And I think it just, works so well. Just that tiny little acoustic piece before it kicks off into the actual song works really good. So this comes in at number 8. Number 7, without a doubt, is, a Marty Friedman, solo fest. And I think you guys know which one I'm referring to, which is, of course, Tornado of Souls. I mean, there's no denying the fact that this song is absolutely spectacular. It is something that, I thoroughly enjoy. Most people sometimes consider it to be the best metal song ever because of the soloing, because of the way in which the song is structured. But for me, it's just a fun damn time. So coming in at number 7. Number 6 is a more, not really a newer song, but part of the newer part of Megadeth's catalog, like especially the post 2000s era. And this song for me is of what I consider to be my favorite Megadeth record, which is Endgame. And the song is Head Crusher. I think Sean Drover and Dave, did a really good job, putting this track together. And I just love the music video. I think it's so much of fun. It's a really cool concept about a game show where convicts can, fight and decide whether they're going to be free or not. But this song packs a solid punch. So this comes in at number 6. Number 5 is going to be a spicy take from me. And okay, all you guys out there will probably guess where this is going. Number 5 for me is the song Mechanics. There are two versions, okay? There's the Four Horsemen by Metallica, and there's the Mechanics. Now, you guys know what a huge Metallica fan I am. But between the two, I'm one of the guys who much prefers the mechanics. I'm sorry, but I find the Four Horsemen a little boring. Yeah, okay, great, great. Get your knives and pitchforks out, and how dare you say that? But hey, guys, it's my list, it's my view. You guys can have your own. You guys prefer the Four Horsemen? Absolutely cool. More power to you. But for me, the mechanics works. I just love Dave singing on this. I think it's overall a great track. I think it's something that, I like the speed also, which it actually packs in. So this works for me, and this comes in at number five. Number four is, of course, what everyone considers to be the definitive, Megadeth type ballad, which is A Tout le monde. Has a lot of meaning for me, lyrically and musically. It's very haunting. It's so distinct from any other song in Megadeth's catalog. It's kind of like how you had the song "Poisonous Shadows" of Dystopia. Again, so different and so unique to what you would expect, on a Megadeth record. But Atul Le Monde, stands out in a big way. And of course, I'm leaning towards the Euthanasia version. I love the United Abominations version with Christina Scabia. I think she was a fabulous vocalist, still is, of course, and sang really well with Dave. But I like the original just that bit more. So this comes in at number four for me. Number three, of course, is a fan favorite, and there's just no denying. The first time I heard it, I fell in love with it, which is, of course, Peace Sells, but Who's Buying, the title track of their second record. There's not much more I could say about this other than the fact that it is such a distinct and wildly enjoyable song. It is so Megadeth in its essence, and it is a song that most rock and metal fans would probably have as part of their top 10 in any given combination. So it's a song that really stands out. Number two is a special track for me because it's the very first song of the band I ever heard. When I was first told about them, I saw the music video when it came up on channel, actually on MTV at that point, for those of you guys who remember MTV. And for me, it is, it's got a very haunting, sort of melody to it, but at the same time, it's got, something which is so Dave Mustaine-ish in its essence, of course, because he's the guy who composed this track. But for me, it's Sweating Bullets off the Countdown to Extinction album. And I just enjoy it. I know a lot of other guys do, but and what else could I actually say about it? It's just that I just love the style of singing that Dave adopts in this one. I mean, aside from the musical genius of it, I just like the style of singing. It works really well. Okay, coming in at number one is a song that I think most Megadeth fans will say is the definitive Megadeth song. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have guessed it already, but it's so interesting that for me, what happened in the Metallica video with my friend Biproshi, we both had the same number one. And it's so interesting in this video where I have Biproshi's bandmate Saurav, him and I have the same number one, which is Holy Wars, The Punishment Due. It is the definitive Megadeth song through and through. If anyone was to ask me anywhere, what is the one song, if I've never heard Megadeth before, I need to hear, I would point them to this track. This is the song you got to hear to know the essence of what this band is about and what it is that it delivers. So Holy Wars, The Punishment Due, coming in at number one. Thank you so much, guys, for listening in to Saurav and me. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let us know in the comments below what songs are your favorite, what are your top 10s, what are the tracks that you enjoy. Love to hear from you. And maybe next year, guys, let's celebrate. Let's make the most of streaming and introducing everyone to Megadeth, because it is going to be the final bow for them. And let's celebrate all things Megadeth and Dave Mustaine. Till next time, guys, you take care and rock on.